In a dramatic and unexpected turn of events, the Pan-African Unity Summit in Addis Ababa was thrown into disarray when Burkinabè leader Captain Ibrahim Traoré directly confronted South African political figure Helen Zille over what he described as decades of neo-colonial manipulation and Western puppeteering across the continent. The confrontation, which played out in front of stunned delegates from across Africa, exposed the deep ideological rifts threatening to derail ongoing efforts toward a unified African front. From the moment the summit opened, it was clear that this year's gathering would be anything but routine. Delegates from the Sahel bloc, led by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, arrived with a bold message: Africa must break free from the lingering influence of former colonial powers and their allies, including those perceived to be complicit within Africa itself. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the youngest head of state on the continent and a revolutionary figure rising in popularity across Francophone West Africa, wasted no time in making his presence felt. Wearing his now iconic red beret and military fatigues, Traoré delivered a fiery opening speech condemning what he called elite collaborators who have long benefited from Africa's political instability and economic dependency. It was during a closed-door session, later leaked to the press, that tensions exploded into public view. According to multiple sources inside the summit, Traoré singled out Helen Zille, the chairperson of South Africa's Democratic Alliance, accusing her of arrogantly lecturing the continent on democracy while backing policies that serve foreign, rather than African, interests. You speak of good governance, yet your politics serve to reinforce the chains our people are still trying to break, Traoré reportedly told Zille. Africa doesn't need lectures from those who quietly enable exploitation through deals cloaked as partnerships. We need liberation. Zille, known for her sharp tongue and ideological conviction, did not hold back. She fired back with accusations of populism and authoritarianism, warning that young revolutionaries with guns risk plunging the continent into chaos under the banner of anti-imperialism. Her remarks sparked immediate backlash from several Sahel delegates, who viewed her response as emblematic of the very paternalism they were condemning. Observers say the exchange was more than a clash of personalities, it was symbolic of a deeper continental divide. On one side are the new wave of military-led regimes in West Africa, fueled by a surge of Pan-African nationalism and widespread disillusionment with Western institutions. On the other are liberal democratic advocates, primarily from Southern and Eastern Africa, who insist that rule of law and electoral politics remain the only path forward. The ideological war for Africa's future is being fought in real time, said Dr. Olima Daera, a political analyst based in Senegal. Traoré represents a generation fed up with diplomatic niceties that mask exploitation. Zille represents a class of African leaders who still believe change must come through the slow machinery of global diplomacy. Already, the confrontation has sparked heated debates back in both South Africa and Burkina Faso. In Ouagadougou, crowds gathered in the capital to show support for Traoré, chanting slogans against imperialism and holding up posters of Kwame Nkrumah and Thomas Sankara. Meanwhile, in Cape Town, Democratic Alliance supporters defended Zille, saying she stood for constitutional governance against rising militarism. Some leaders, including Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan and Kenya's William Ruto, attempted to play peacemaker, urging unity and calm. However, their efforts may be overshadowed by growing demands for African institutions to pick a side, either to support a more radical restructuring of African alliances or to defend the post-colonial status quo. The confrontation between Traoré and Zille may go down as a defining moment in the modern history of African diplomacy. It forces a pressing question into the spotlight: can Africa unite without first confronting the deeply embedded power structures, internal and external, that continue to shape its destiny? As the summit concluded under a cloud of unresolved tension, one thing became clear: the road to true Pan-African unity will not be paved with polite speeches and symbolic handshakes. It will be forged in the heat of hard conversations, ideological reckoning, and possibly open confrontation between old and new visions for Africa. And in that struggle, voices like Traoré's, and even those like Zille's, will continue to shape the battle lines for generations to come.